Hi everyone, myself K. Amudachendiru from the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, Ramco Institute of Technology, Rajapalayam. Now we are going to learn about the topic Introduction to OOP. You know one thing, every definition have a meaning of its name only. So here, OOP is nothing but object oriented programming. So every programming concepts under this OOP is depends only on this object. So that is called as object oriented programming. Now you have a question as what is an object? Yes, an object is nothing but an entity that has attributes and behaviors. For example, if you are a object means your name, age, color are the attributes and you are dancing, walking, singing are your behaviors. In OOP, the whole program can be divided into n number of programs. Each program have its own logic and its own object too. So at last it will be function together and give us output as a single one. So that is called as object oriented programming. Here, there are five methodologies could be used in OOP: class, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and then abstraction. Class. First of all, class is nothing but collection of object or blueprint of object. If you want to build your own house means first you will go to one civil engineer and get a blueprint of your home. Am I right? So that blueprint is called as a class and your original house is called as a object. So how to define a class means class as use a class as a keyword and space class name. At the end of the definition of class you have to put a colon symbol next to an object. We already seen about this objects and how to define its mean. Object name is equal to calling the function of class name. Here we have a simple example program for create an object and class. Before we are getting into this example, you have to understand the main two keywords. Nothing but init and then self. Init is nothing but a constructor in an object oriented approach. It will be called every time whenever object is created. So it can be used within this class only. So next self is nothing but assign the values of arguments whatever passed by an object. Now, in this example, we created a class as employee, and M1 and M2 are the objects that are instantiated against the class employee. Here, the word dict is a dictionary which prints all the values of object M1 against the given parameter name, age, salary. Init acts like a constructor that is invoked whenever an object is created. I hope now you guys won't face any problem while dealing with classes and object in the future. Next one, inheritance. Ever heard of this dialogue from your relatives? You look exactly like your father or mother. The reason behind this is called inheritance. From the programming aspect, it generally means inheriting a transfer of characteristic from parent to child class without any modification. Okay, there are five types of inheritance are there: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, and then hybrid inheritance. First of all, we will see about the single inheritance. It can be a single, only one parent class and then one child class. A child class inherit characteristic from a single parent class. Here, A is a parent class and B is a child class. In this example, we created a parent class as animal. Within this class, we create a function as speak and have a print statement as animal speaking. Then created a child class as dog and inherit a parent class animal. Within this class, we created a function as bark and print statement dog barking and create an object as d and calling the class name dog. So d dot object name dot function name. Okay, can you please tell me the output of this program? Yes, correct. Dog barking and then animal speaking. Next one, multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is nothing but It will be inherit properties from an immediate parent class, which in turn inherits properties from his parent class. Immediate parent is nothing but A is an immediate parent to B and B is an immediate parent to C. In this example, that is clearly explained in the code. Here I have defined the superclass as employee and child class as child employee 1. Now child employee 1 acts as a parent for child employee 2. I have instantiated two objects F1 and F2 where I am passing the parameters name, age, salary for F1 from superclass employee and name, age, salary from the parent class child employee 1. Okay, can you please tell me the output of this program? Yes, 22 and then 23. Next one, hierarchical inheritance. It will be enables more than one derived class to inherit properties from a parent class. That is nothing but more than one child class but a single parent class. So A is a parent class, B, C are the child class. In this example, you can clearly see there are two child class as child employee 1 and then child employee 2. They are inheriting functionalities from a common parent class, that is employee. Objects M1 and M2 are instantiated against the parameters name, age and then salary. In this example, what is the output means 22 and then 23. Next one, multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is nothing but it enables one derived class to inherit properties from more than one base class. So here there are one or more parent class but only one child class. So in this example, I have taken two parent class employee 1 and then employee 2 and a child class child employee which is inheriting both parent class by instantiating the objects M1 and M2 against the parameters of parent classes. Not last but not least, the hybrid inheritance. Hybrid, the common word hybrid means the combination or collaboration of something. Am I right? So in this hybrid inheritance, it will be combined more than one inheritance within itself. So in this example, we will inherit a multiple and then multi-level inheritance in it. So we created a class name as office, that is A. You will match this program into this process. Okay. So within this parent class, we created a function name as function 1 and create a class child class name emp1 and inheriting the properties from parent class office and another one parent class emp2. Within that class, we created a function as function 3. So class M3 is nothing but as a D. Okay. So within this child class, we created a function as function 4. So object we created an object and calling a function name M3. So can you please tell me the output of this program? Yes. This function is in office. This function is in employee 1. Next to one, polymorphism. Polymorphism is nothing but one task can be performed in several different ways. So you all must have used GPS for navigating the route, isn't it? That is amazing how many different routes you come across for the same destination depending on the traffic. From a programming point of view, this is called polymorphism. Okay. Next, there are two types of polymorphism. One is runtime polymorphism, and then another one is compile time polymorphism. For runtime polymorphism, that is also called as a dynamic polymorphism. So, method overriding is an example for runtime polymorphism. So in this example, I have created two classes, child employee 1 and then child employee 2, which are derived from the same base class employee. Here's the catch: one did not receive money, whereas the other one gets. Now the real question is, how did this happen? Well, here if you look closely, I created an empty function and used pass. Pause can be used to do, it is a statement. can be used to when you do not want to execute any command or code. Now, under the two derived classes, I used the same empty function and made use of the print statement as no money and has money. Lastly, created two objects and called the function. Okay, so can you please tell me the output of this program? Yes, no money and then has money. Next one is a compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism is also called as a static polymorphism. The method overloading is an example for compile time polymorphism. In this example, I have created two classes, employee 1 and then employee 2, and created functions for both name, salary, and then age, and printed the value of the same without taking it from the user. Now, welcome to the main part where I have created a function with object as the parameter and calling all the three functions, that is name, age, and salary. Later, instantiated objects emp1 and then emp2 against the two classes and simply call the function. Such type is called method overloading. Okay, next one, encapsulation. A encapsulation is nothing but it can be binding up of data in a single class. Okay. Python does not have any private keyword like Java. Okay, but in this encapsulation in Python, we use a setter method. Okay, without using the setter method in encapsulation concepts, you have a error as attribute error. Okay, but in this example, we use a setter method. Okay, making use of the setter method provides indirect access to the private class method. Here, I have defined a class employee and used the max earn as setter, which is the setter method used here to store the maximum earning of the employee, and a setter function set max earn, which is taking price as the parameter. This is a clear example of encapsulation where we are restricting the access to private class method and then use the setter method to grant access. Okay, next one, abstraction. Abstraction is only show the implementation details and hide the details from the users. Suppose you booked a movie ticket from Book My Show using net banking or any other process. You don't know the procedure of how the pin is generated or how the verification is done. This is called as abstraction. Okay, in this example, as you can see in the example, we have imported an abstract method and the rest of the program has a parent and a derived class. An object is instantiated for the child employee base class and functionality of abstract is being used. Okay, these are all the topics or methodologies could be used in introduction to. Hope all of you understand what are all the topics under this methodologies, and thank you until we will see in this next class. Okay, thank you.